my own ass with a pin. We ready to do this?
Okay. Ready to hit it, boys? Meatball? I'm a strong believer when people say, you know, if you could go back in time, what would you change? If that's the question, I would change everything, because why do everything twice? So if I could go back and talk to myself, I'd probably say do something completely different, because I've already lived this life and it was great, so do something else. What's up, Bologna? We just got here. We're driving. We're gonna go do some street performing. Be in the street very soon. Very soon.
So let me escape the Babylon and let me live in a forest. Me run away from addiction into the peacefulness. Me breathing in the energy to love and manifest. Me storing the adrenaline and put it in me chest. Me meet a peaceful man, he tell me that he must suggest to live a life of honesty and modesty and rest. He speak to me of energy, a pure stabilist. I believe in evolution, I'm on iterationless. I said don't give up. Come on. We're gonna make it in the end. Come on. I said don't give up. No. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend. Oh, I said don't give up, don't give up. Gonna make it in the end. So don't give up now. Oh, tell your neighbor, tell your friend. So cruise through the east from Berlin to Bucharest, all the way to Riga and back down to Budapest. Run away from all the games and bureaucratic stress. Road be getting longer, but me never stop to rest. Oh, some of them amenities in a knowingness. Slaving up to Babylon in diamond dress, but judging is so negative and meaningless. I try to be peaceful every day, nothing more, nothing less. I said don't give up. We're gonna make it in the end. Alright, don't give up, don't give up. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend. I said don't give up. We gonna make it in the end. I said don't give up. Oh, tell your neighbor, tell your friend. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend.
Benjamin Stanford was born in Melbourne on June 11, 1983. His father from Melbourne, Australia, and his mother from Lucca, Italy. Two worlds couldn't be further from each other, yet such a contrast was the perfect breeding ground for this unimaginable and unpredictable talent.
So basically my childhood was me and my sister. We grew up together in Australia with my mum and my dad, and they split when I was about 8 years old or whatever. And then when I was 9 years old, my mum moved back to Italy with me and my sister. And I lived in Italy for 3 years, and it as much as I love Italy today, back then I wasn't ready for the change of environment, and I didn't like it as a child. So I went back to Australia because I felt more in tune with the energy that was coming from that place. I grew up there, and then when I was about 20, later on I came back here, and then I realized that I actually have a really deep connection with Italy as well, but I didn't know that when I was a child.
Sing with me now. See oh oh, 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 see oh. I said don't give up. Said don't give up. I said don't give up, and now don't give up. I said don't give up now. We're gonna make it in the end. I said don't give up, don't give up. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend. Yes, yes, yes.
When I was a kid, I remember being in Lucca and going to school. I remember I hated school in Lucca. It was like the most horrible school I've ever been to in my life. It was really religious Catholic school. And it was just no fun, no sport, no art classes, none. It was horrible. Just, you know, science and maths and history. That's why I hated it. And, but then when I went to the Prima Media, like first year of sort of high school or whatever, it was an artsy one. And I enjoyed that a lot more. I made better friends with people, and I enjoyed my last year in Italy was doing that. Like the first two were pretty boring.
The microcosm of St Kilda within Melbourne, Australia, was the perfect scene to develop his early skills as a musician. While the scene has its own pulse and breeds all kinds of talent, it's still too far away from the enormous heartbeat that is Europe.
Well, basically in Melbourne, there's a lot of incredible musicians. There's a really great music scene in Melbourne. It's quite similar to Italy, in fact. Like in Italy, there's a lot of incredible musicians, but there's not enough people that actually appreciate how good and talented these people are. So a lot of talent gets wasted in Australia, just like here in Italy. So what happens is you get to a certain point where you feel like you've grown up, you've got all this musicality, you understand, you've mastered almost your instrument to some degree, but you feel like now, okay, I have to water it down, I have to make something commercial and poppy or cheesy or do covers or do something that's not me, just so I can make a living. And that's the problem with Australia. So that's, as soon as I got to a point where I was like, I'm not gonna do that, I came to Europe. And then as soon as I got to Europe, I realized I can actually do whatever I want. So I was in Gallipoli, hanging out, cars waiting for us to cross. Little show last night. Going to Palermo tomorrow night. Wicked. My first job was a chemist round. I would go to, basically I worked for a pharmacy and I would deliver medicine to old ladies on a bicycle, and they'd give me a tip. And I'd get like $1 every time I brought one lady, and I knew which ladies would give me the tips, and I'd go to them first. And then my next job was a paper round, giving papers, you know, on a bicycle. I loved that. When I was 16 years old, I wrote a song about that called Paperboy. And then what else did I do? I worked for my dad, because my dad had a business that was like wholesaling jewelry to big department stores. So he brought stuff from, you know, import things and then sent it to, and I used to sit there for 8 hours, like all day, just putting like an earring on a thing, next one, boom. It was a pretty boring job, but I had fun as a kid, making money. It was good fun, do shit with it.
Pursuing passion, artistic expression, and the deliverance of soul was far more important than finding financial stability. The journey was far more important than the destination. With each obstacle came a new higher lesson. Growing and moving forward became their mantra.
I went out in the street 4 days a week for 6, 7 years and made sure that I sold as many records as I did on the street, because I knew that the more I sold on the street, the more people have it, the more people they share it with, the more people that know about it, the more that you spread it, you know. And that's just in the music world, but in anything, in the end of the day, you know, the harder you work, the more you show that you want to work to those around you. When you inspire people to work because you want to work so hard, whatever it is that you do, then you will always become successful, because that's what people want around them. People want cool people that want to work at the end of the day.
Basically, like I said, my name is Dub FX. I make music live on the spot by recording my voice into this loop station. So basically, I press record like this, and then I press the button again and it loops like this, yeah? Record like this, and then I press the button again and it loops like this.
Undeniable soul, captured on camera in the middle of the street and uploaded to YouTube, gave everyone the ability to share this raw talent. The effectiveness of this word of mouth, completely driven by people's undeniable will to share a message of peace and hope.
It's possible to love someone and not treat them in the way that you want. It's possible to see your eyes be the devil in disguise with another front end. It's possible to change this world, revolutionize the boys and girls. It's possible to educate the next generation, never do the word.
Yeah, Ben Dowden, I think, you know, he's a great filmmaker, and he's made a lot of great films prior to me. And, you know, I also had done a lot of good gigs on the street prior to meeting him. I mean, definitely he changed my life.
creating a world for the open-minded, a unique perception of truth inside it. And now we can find it. It's just a matter of where and when we collectively decided. The world is not a vicious place. It's just the way we've been raised, discovering time and space. I know that we could make a change, rearrange the way that we appreciate the world today. It's possible to love someone and not treat them in the way that you are. It's possible to see your eyes be the devil in disguise with another flooding.
I wouldn't have the reach that I have now, but before that, yeah, like I said, I sold loads of records on the street. You know, I sold loads and loads of records on the street, and people knew who I was in certain areas of the world. But what Ben Dowden did was he basically put me on YouTube, which made it go global. So people in Russia, people in Estonia, people in Hungary, people in America, countries I'd never been to, started hearing my music and started passing it around.
Joined at the soul with the pair of headphones. We need nobody to let ourselves go. Always at my side as we rock a stage show. In the ocean of music, we move with the flow. Hand in my hand, I don't wanna let go. A partner in life on this mean old road. We got the wind on our back that blows. We can't trip the park, we just move with the flow. Joined at the soul with the pair of headphones. We need nobody to let ourselves go. Always at my side as we rock a stage show. In the ocean of music, we move with the flow.
From there, you know, I guess I went from just living off my street shows to living off tours, you know, in proper clubs.
Come on! That's it. You know this one now.
The street seems to be a common playground for teaching scholars, explorers, and travelers the intense life lessons that make up a true revolutionary.
So many miles to see your face. I've got a feeling I can't change it. I don't want to sound cliche, but my heart aches. Now I'm living inside your dreams. So when you find it hard to sleep, babe, if you're feeling the same way, or just call me. You know my voice can soothe your pain. Oh, my voice can soothe your pain. You know my voice can soothe your pain. Oh, 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 no, no. Inside my pillow I see your face. A recent memory I can't erase, and I don't want to sound passe, but I need your taste. I'm living inside your dreams. A silhouette is enough for me. So when you're feeling the same way, or just call me. You know my voice can soothe your pain. Oh, 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 my voice can soothe your pain.
In 2006, DubFX, with a few friends, traveled endlessly across Europe, sharing art and conscious messages on as many street corners as possible. This gave them the tools to become masters of their craft and spread their music globally.
So I got Andy V, who's my good friend from a long way back, actually. He's a jazz musician, and now he's playing keys and saxophone and some backups. And he's also got his own loop station. So I do my loops and he does his loops, and we jam together in that way. Cade, he's my manager. We've known each other since we were 15 years old. We've been playing music with the first band we ever started was together. And he's doing backup vocals and scratching. And he's also, like, I guess, my main manager.
Tickety time fly by, but we're still sleeping. I'm lazy. What from the love last night? She purrs like a kitten, cause I'm so damn satisfied.
I met Ben when we were 15. I moved from Western Australia and went to a new school, and he was there. and he was a bit odd and I was a bit odd, and we both wanted to get the oddness out into the world, and I played the drums, he played guitar, and it was a match made in heaven. And we've been jamming for 15 years ever since.
My background is more performance-based, so these days I have to think more about sound design, and Ben is very advanced with sound design as he's an incredible producer as well as musician. So he's always helping me with my sound design, and I watch him and I learn, you know, more about it each time. From when we started to now, my knowledge of sound design has increased tenfold.
$6 million ways to die. Choose one. Yeah, make some noise for Andy V on the keys, man.
For 6 years we lived in a van and we traveled around and I street performed. I mean, it started with me by myself, and then my friend Bishop came along, and then I met Flower Fairy and she started coming along, and then eventually Cade joined me and Bishop left, and I had lots of different crew that I traveled around with and street performed, and they helped me sell my CDs. And that sort of became Convoy. We started jamming together, and we just came up with the idea, well, we're in Convoy because we're always living in vans. We're all living in vans, and we're in Convoy, and so it was just sort of like a name we gave our crew, really.
My third week in the north of UK, trying to figure out how all the music should play. Barely had a good setup from acting the street when I met my soulmate, Miss Flower Fairy. Now we travel the world, man, living a girl, living in the van in the old of the world. See, it was hot, man, but it was right, man, and I know anyone can do it because I can.
Now listen here, got no fear. Make no money with my music career. I got love, message, my feet on the ground. People all around me screaming out loud, I don't care. Love is fair, loving every moment till I damn not scared to express what I'm feeling. Out of back, I lay my soul round this train, yeah. Round this train.
Yeah, as a kid, I used to watch street performers, and you know, when I was growing up, and I'd go walk around the city by myself as a teenager and stand around and watch street performers, and I always wanted to be one, definitely.
Using his relentless approach on the street and the power of the internet, he managed to sell over 200,000 albums worldwide, gain over 600,000 fans on Facebook, and built over 150 million YouTube views collectively.
Social networks today are very important for any artist who want to go beyond the normal realms of independent career. You can't really have an independent career without being on all the social networks, because that's where everybody lives these days. Facebook, YouTube, we use these things more than we watch TV. So it's important to be in the social networks for that reason. I'd sold about 70 to 80,000 records on the streets before the social networks kind of blew up for me. So, you know, it's not just the social networks that are important, but they helped me get my music further.
It's been 6 years and the road was long. Hopping crowds, getting loud, being proud of my song. Couldn't even touch another. Someone like you, getting shit on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
So thanks to all my fans for giving me this. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even exist. And let me take another week, I'm so grateful. And for that, we're always gonna be faithful.
See, if I signed to a label, I'd be stuck in a cage. You probably have never heard of me, huh? So I stepped to the side, held my rage and turned it over to a positivity, yo. Cause I'm in tune with you, this is a new age as we turn the next page on the beat,
So many MCs take the street to the stage, but I would rather take the stage to the street.
You feeling me?
The crowdfunding thing was an experiment. It was so we could just gauge and see how many true hardcore fans we have out there, because it's really important to understand how many people out there are willing to give you money for something that doesn't even exist yet. And we were very lucky to find that I've got over 2,500 fans who were willing to pay more than just a CD. They were paying up to 500-600 euros, some of these people. And I think I'll probably do every album like this in the future, because it's a great way. You don't overspend on production. You know how many things you want to print up, and you also get a good idea of what your audience wants from you. What's happening, people? This is Dub FX. I'll be playing in Bucharest tonight, 2:30 a.m. It's gonna be quite late, innit? People say, oh, you know, the downloading is killing all these artists and stuff. No, it's not killing any artists. It's killing the record labels. It's killing the people who are making billions of dollars off people that were never getting anything in the first place. Actually, you make all your money as an artist touring. And now because the record labels aren't making money because everyone's downloading, they're trying to take money out of artists' pockets when they tour as well with these 360 deals. That shit is just pure evil, I think. You know, if you can't get with the times and make money out of selling records, then you deserve to die. your label deserves to die. You know what I mean? Like, so in my opinion, I don't know. I've got no problem with that sort of stuff. And a lot of my favorite bands growing up, like Rage Against the Machine, they talk a lot about politics and about the system, but they were signed to Sony. But there was no other way that they could get their music out there. So it's not like I've got a hatred or the stigma against, like record labels. It's such. It's just more, we're in a new paradigm, and this is the future.
Yeah, a baseline. We fly away from the beat and grime. Too much to say, but me got no time. Zip up his suit on the murderous crime. Looking down on the body is mine. It was a ghost in the shell and me got no way. Ringing the bell on me own despair. Yeah, me gonna chase at the light. I swear for the people that me love and care.
Now the landlord court said the rent came late. He sent his friend here to invest our gate. There's a roar at the door saying let me in. Shit, 5 more minutes, probably kick it in. The neighbors ignore my scene. Eyes on the bubblegum TV screen. But like slam or bust the door, I commando row for her. Black made on his PS3. I'm like, quick man, grab it and come with me. But he sits without a flinch, then Ben sees me. He reaches to his hip and then he buys out 3. I die if I grab the toaster. Land in the kitchen, man, looks like me. Pack 2 rounds of bread, hit him in the head. And when these days make my escape, what?
Fly away from the beat and grime. Too much to say, but me got no time. Zip up his suit on a murderous crime. Looking down and the body is mine. He was a ghost in the shell and we got no way. Ringing a bell and me own despair. Me gotta chase all the light. I swear for the people that me love and care.
Quick, burst out the back door. I'm blinded by light, I trip and then fall. But dizzy, turn, who do I see? I see fear with a water pistol pointed at me. He sprays
slime.
I say a magic rhyme, then instantly I see a can of Kevlar pointed at my chest. I'm with my people in Rome, protected now from the green mess. Ow! Ricochet hits a really big Transformer style, turns it into a lean hiding machine that don't play. Rubbish in the air, look, love to stay. But I slip, dive, suicide fly. Spray paint wings and launch for the sky. Excuse me, all the people in the place wrong. Can you help me find my way to the land of the free?
Fly away from the beat and grime. Too much to say, but me got no time. Zip up the suit on the murderous crime. Looking down on the body is mine. He was a ghost in the shell and we got no way. Ringing a bell on me own despair. Me and the chase of the light, I swear. For the people that me.
Yeah, see I'm a lyrical miracle, political and critical, a clinical pinnacle, invincible and cynical, I ridicule my city for my people with my noise, and I change the world with the power of my voice.
Even a two, we can be insecurities, I'm a puff of views. A view of the two, see I'm under the safe views of this abuse, to seek for news, the logic of forms of myth of the blues, who's the several part of the mind, it's in the secret and the truth.
So the sound of the inside of my So slow down to your pace, it's inevitable. We're going home, I'm told it's a wrinkly show. I could never take you back in time, I'll show you the
I get inspired by a lot of different styles of music. Like I might listen to a drum and bass track and then be inspired to write a dub track. Or I might listen to a jazz song and be inspired to write a hip hop track. You know, it doesn't all just come from particular artists or people, it's more genres of music that inspire me.
That's, you know, like anything, it just evolves with time and seeing the world and the influence of so many different things. You know, we've always tried to make it as organic as possible. We kind of throw ourselves out there with an open heart and open as many doors as we can and walk through them and see what happens. But, you know, Ben's always changing. I think he's moving towards a production style thing now and moving away from the whole beatboxing street thing, which people know him for, and he's going into a whole new realm of musical production where he's just going to blow people away.
We fly away from the beat and grind. Too much to say, but we got no time. See, but the suit and the murderous crime. Looking down at the body is mine. He was a ghost in the shell and we got nowhere. Ringing the bell on me own despair. We gonna chase out the light, I swear, for the people that me love and care.
We had fun, you know what I mean? Like that's what it was about. We were just making jokes, like we were freestyling about dumb shit, and we needed a beat, and that's why I just started beatboxing. It was really like, and then later on I started developing the snare, the sound. I could write a song just with my mouth and my brain, and you know, just by beatboxing and humming it, and I can do that. But everything's been done. That's the thing. Technology has helped us reinvent styles of music, which have then turned into new styles of music. You just have to come up with creative and new ways and context to put it in, you know? And technology is definitely helping in that way.
Baseline.
In his loops, in his street performances or on a stage, the contamination of styles is clear and immediate. He grew up around music, and with music he struck a deal. I hear you in all your declination. I destroy you and transform you. I project you with all your vital energy into a new universe, so far unknown.
Well, you know, not all of my favorite artists are dub, you know, artists, obviously. I mean, like growing up, I was into a lot of punk rock and heavy metal. And then from that I got into Sublime, and then I got into, you know, reggae music and Bob Marley, you know, Burning Spear, the Gladiators. You know, there's a lot of great artists out there who do amazing music. The Marleys in general, all the Marleys.
With the music that can do all our nations. Boom! They try to shut us down and change our station. Boom! But they can never stop the vibration. We take it from the studio to the dance hall. You can hear it on the street and at the festivals. We play it loud and my on rock the whole world. Big up the rude boys and big up the rude girls. He's a slave to the baseline. Me is a slave to the baseline.
While there are still corners of the globe to be discovered and dreams to realize, having just turned 30, his understanding of reality comes with greater maturity. Rather than delving into the unknown, he is now able to sensibly manifest his own opportunities with a bigger picture in mind.
Granados Live Festival, this is fucking beautiful, man. Honestly. Awesome, awesome, awesome vibes. So happy to be here. See you guys on stage very soon. Bamba clap. Well, yeah, like, I mean, I'd like to go to Jamaica for sure, and or South America. Both, you know, that continent would be amazing to go check out. The Caribbean. So, you know, there's heaps of artists I'd like to work with. You know, Albarosi is one of them. Damian Marley is another one. There's a whole bunch of other, vocalists I'd like to work with. Another guy called Chords, Fat Freddy's Drop, Hiatus Coyote. I really like all of these bands. They're all great, and I'd love to have the opportunity to work with any of them.
I slip to the baseline. Me is a slip to the baseline. I slip to the baseline. Me is a slip to the baseline. I slip to the baseline. Me is a slip to the baseline. I slip to the baseline.
Well, the thing about jazz that's important is that it was the first popular medium of music that had happened in the West, maybe ever, or maybe for a long time anyway, where it was about freestyling. It was about just gelling together and finding a groove and going somewhere and taking it. So jazz is all about improvisation, really, at the end of the day. Obviously, there's a lot of forms. They're needed in the beginning when they were creating jazz. They needed structure to make, understand jazz. But as it's gone on and on and on, now there are jazz musicians that don't. They just know all the forms. They know all the different ways that you can make jazz, and they can just sit together and they can just start playing jazz.
Being the unfocused and uninterested pupil he was, his music teacher probably never imagined that he will become a worldwide phenomenon. Possibly another example of recklessness and genius, untapped and not appreciated by modern society.
My music teacher actually, rightfully so, thought I was a poor music student because I would rock up to class stoned, and I didn't really do enough work. That I could have done a lot more work. But at the end of the day, school for me wasn't about learning knowledge. I've learned more knowledge after school. At school, I learned how to behave as a human being, you know what I mean? Just interact with other people.
You seem to me like the perfect queen. I'm overjoyed that you're into me. I can't believe what is happening. If only this love was meant to be. All right. You ready to jump?
So the first album I made was Live in the Street, because at the time I was just street performing and that's all I could do. I didn't have a studio, I lived in a van. So I just recorded songs every time, in different cities as I was street performing, and just compiled the best ones that I thought I had and put them together. Most of that album was just freestyle.
Already taken and I break your heart deeper. Step back into the light so I can see ya. Only a fantasy for me, but I'm a dreamer. In another life we could truly be together. You could be my wife, I could be yours forever. Slow dancing, romancing, romance whenever. Riding through the sunset in all kinds of weather. Even if we had a little moment, I gave my heart away to another. She told me she would hold it, and now she'd always be my lover.
The second album I made was Everything's a Ripple, and that was like my first studio album with all the songs that were from YouTube, because Ben Dowden, this filmmaker, made the videos, and all those songs became popular on YouTube. So I was like, right, I'm gonna make an album of these songs. Then I made the Flower Fairy album, which is nursery grime, and I produced the whole thing, and we wrote the lyrics and the melodies together, a lot of the stuff, me and Flower Fairy, and that's one of my favorites actually that I've made, because it's not got me really in it that much. I'm in the background doing all the stuff, but it's all about Flower Fairy, and I think she's really beautiful. She's got a great voice. And then Across Worlds, I made that around the same time with a guy called Sirius, who now calls himself Shadowbreaker. I don't know why, but he's now called Shadowbreaker. We made a dubstep album called Across Worlds, and the titles at the back was a crossword puzzle. And then the last one I made was Theory of Harmony, the new one.
You're standing in the midst of hundreds of thousands of people. You are alone. Your music and your telepathic energy are your tools to communicate. You're open to whatever happens next. I know not where I shall go, but I have learned to accept the endless possibilities before me.
I've come to realize that there's a big connection between, the universe and energy and me, and how much my mindset can actually take from the universe, just like being inspired, but also feeling energy, feeling, just the need to go and perform, These things were starting to die in me, and then I started getting a little bit more, I guess I took more of a spiritual approach without sounding too cheesy, but I started feeling like that I could draw energy from the atmosphere as opposed to rely on chemicals or energy drinks and things like that. Now I try to stay as natural as possible, and I feel like I'm actually better for it. When you're a street performer, joining in with a busker is you just do it because that's what I do anyway. I mean, you've got an understanding, you know what I mean? It's just, because being a street performer, I love it. I love it when people come and join in. Because it creates a whole new dynamic to the group. People are all standing there watching, they're enjoying, and then some weirdo comes in and starts doing something. You're just like, yes, because you can just start playing with that, and you got something to work with. So it's always fine.
All right, let's do something like this. Let's do something chilled. Let's do something.
Dub FX stands for energy. You need only to listen to his songs, eyes closed, to be taken on a journey through your mind into a deeper connection with yourself while dancing all the way. Attending his live shows, especially those on the street, is an experience too special to describe in words. The sensation is of pure energy, thrown from the stage to the audience. A powerful and no doubt positive energy.
Humanity is conformity, conformity is society, society is this reality. Humanity is conformity, conformity is society, society is this reality.
What I learned on the street as a street performer was how to communicate, with the crowd, how to bring the crowd in to me. Because when you play in a club and when you play in like a festival, people are waiting for you. They're ready for you. But on the street, you have to bring them in. And I guess I had to do that by connecting with everybody and sending a message. That's what I visualize when I'm in the street, especially when I see people walking past. I sort of try to telepathically engage them while I sing. I do things, do movements, I pull faces, I do things with my body because I know they might be looking at me out of the corner of my eye, I can see, so I might do something that'll draw them in. At the end of the day, you're a performer. That's what it's all about.
They said I was crazy, they called me a fool, but words cannot change me and my respect for the rules. I may be part of the system,
Another thing I also realized was when I wore sunglasses, no one would stop, right? But when I took them off and I had my eyes shut, people would come in. And that was because people like seeing something vulnerable. You gotta emotionally draw them in, and that's something I learned to do. So maybe that's what you mean when you say people can understand. It's like they step on my trip, basically.
I got my eyes open wide to the ceiling. I'm like on my back in the center of our room. Got the voice giving me a funny feeling. It's telling me the world's gonna end real soon. I gotta get a job, otherwise I'm gonna feel it. Do my little dance for the man and consume. So I let my energy feel for the healing. So I can rain down with my supersonic boom. I'm held down by a fog on my way to the top. I'll clatter than the pressure will rise. On a mission to the sky with the stars in my eyes. Yet the weather won't compromise. Like a ball on a chain, strapped in my brain. I'm a prisoner inside of my dreams. So I will appreciate future over there with the clouds up on the bed screaming. I said no, I ain't gonna spend my time wondering why I never made it, no. I've already made it, yeah. I ain't gonna spend my days thinking about why I never made it. I never made it. No, 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 no.
I try to project as much positivity in my music as possible because I feel that there's enough negative music out there. It's super easy to be negative, you know, and I met a lot of these musicians that rely on negativity to be powerful in performance, and it does work, obviously, but there's enough of it out there. There's enough over-sexualized musicians and all this weird shit that just doesn't need to be there. So I try to basically represent, you know, the positive, wholesome side of things. You know, that's what I aspire to be as well. It doesn't mean I'm exactly like that. I'm not the most positive person in the world. I try to be, but you know, we all have our ups and downs.
I'm like this, you need to lose your inhibition. Raise your fist, forget about decisions. It persists in the party that I'm giving, take on the vibe. Soon you will be singing at this time. Like this, you need to lose your inhibitions. Raise your fist, forget about decisions. It persists in the party that I'm giving, take on the vibe. As soon as we be singing this time, like this, I need to lose my inhibitions. Rest my fist, forget about decisions. El persist in the party that I'm giving, take on the vibe. Soon we be singing this time like this, I need to lose my inhibitions. Rest my fist, forget about decisions. El persist in the party that I'm giving, take on the vibe. And now, yeah, I ain't gonna spend my time wondering why. I ain't gonna spend my days taking my wife. Spend my life wondering why I never made it. Cause I've already made it. I already made it. I already made it. We already made it. We already made it. I already made it. Yes, I already made it. You already made it. You've already made it.
But you know, like I guess the message is more just love, music, positivity, and just, you know, just having a good time. You know, like I think when more people in the world think in a positive way, then we have a more positive world. You know, I can't people change people's mind or anything like that. But you know, I feel like collective consciousness is really powerful, and the more positive, conscious energy out there, the better we're gonna be.
Century means nothing to me cause I would rather be at the beginning.
One show down, 13 more to go for this little Euro tour. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side, man.